Hello and welcome to my video which will present my developing ideology of education. An educational ideology is any package of ideas held by an individual or group of people which give direction to education. An ideology consists of my beliefs and values which I consider to provide students with the best toolkit of qualities and characteristics in order to function after leaving the education system. First of all, it is important to stress we're alive in the three key approaches which emphasise the core purpose of education. When looking at this in terms of proportion of importance, I believe the individual to be the most important, followed by knowledge and then society. I believe the key purpose of education should be the health and well-being of its students. This would therefore result in my ideology being child-centred, where the needs and interests of the learner are central. Here I've arranged the most important things a school should aim to achieve in the education of its pupils in order to put greater emphasis on individual development. 1. To be independent, 2. To acquire knowledge, 3. To be confident, 4. To create a personal viewpoint, 5. To gain social skills, 6. To be productive, 7. To be competent, 8. To build goals, and finally 9. To be respectful. I believe I've created an ideology which helps pupils achieve these qualities. When looking at my own experiences, the current education system has always been far too focused on grades and league tables, when the immense amount of stress surrounding exams, tests and assessments can be detrimental to a student's mental health. The routine and systematic nature of the national curriculum leaves little emphasis on individual development, which I believe is important in order for a student to create personal viewpoints and build goals which help set them up for the future. In this instance, I agree with A.S. Neil. He regarded state schools as producing uncreated citizens who will fit into a civilization whose standard of success is money. I found the route of going to university was expected within my sixth form, and courses were heavily praised which almost guaranteed a well-paid job. I disagree with this and believe the system should allow children the freedom to explore. Therefore, within my classroom, I would incorporate principles of A.S. Neil's Summerhill School, in that every child should be viewed as an individual and should take responsibility of their own learning. This would allow children to grow emotionally and promotes a level of independence through giving them the power over their own lives from an early age. It would also allow pupils to be more creative through art and music, which too can be transferable to more academic subjects. This encourages the pupils to form personal viewpoints by being able to build their own beliefs and values without constant adult supervision and guidance. A more child-centred approach where all students feel positive and comfortable coming to school with an excitement for learning is essential for happiness. If this was established, I believe it would create an eagerness to learn which will in turn have positive implications on motivation and success. Another point of emphasis is the teacher's role. I believe some of the best teachers within both primary and secondary schools are those who have a connection with their students, and their role within the classroom is seen more as a partnership where they work together rather than the teacher simply instructing the pupils. However, it is also important that a level of professionalism is maintained. Maria Montessori proposed that a child's learning should be focused on their interests, whilst the teacher simply ensures that these interests encompass all aspects of the curriculum. I would incorporate this within my own classroom, as it not only allows the pupils to enjoy their education, but it also helps them develop as strong individuals. However, I also believe these principles need a level of flexibility, especially when the child develops. In my own experience during placement, reception children are allowed to choose their own activity. However, when reaching the formal curriculum in Year 1 and above, this level of choice begins to diminish. Therefore, within my own classroom, I would ensure that children get to choose what activities to take part in, and I would continue to weave this throughout the curriculum when appropriate. This would ensure that the child enjoys their education rather than seeing it as a chore. However, within crucial subjects such as numeracy and literacy, I would have to limit the choice available to the pupils to ensure they acquire knowledge which fulfills the criteria of the national curriculum. Also, as suggested by Maria Montessori, I would only begin to teach reading and writing when the child is ready and showing interest, not at a set time. Even once a child showed interest, I would adapt my learning in order to suit their needs. This enables pupils to develop at their own pace instead of feeling pressured to keep up with their peers. I believe this would create a much more trusting and respectful relationship between me and my pupils. I believe many policies within the Finnish education system should be applied to my personal ideology as well. It is stated that Finnish education is one of the models of educational excellence and is internationally renowned. Their education is student-centred and has many holistic principles. For example, I think the idea of children starting formal schooling at the age of 7 is extremely beneficial in order to allow these children to develop through creative play and socialisation. The beneficial implications of this are proved through the PISA tests, which revealed that Finnish pupils produced some of the highest scores in maths, science and reading. I have two young nephews who are 5 and 6, who continuously say how much they hate school. Surely, the negative views towards education from such a young age is unnecessary, and could continue to demotivate them as they get older. If their current focus within school was creative play, their opinion would surely change. I believe this would not only have a positive effect on their current view of school, but would also increase their excitement to learn when they reach the age of 7. As well as this, Finland use formative tests, which I believe is a far more effective form of monitoring student learning and provides ongoing feedback to ensure constant improvement of the pupils. During my own experience of education, the focus on formal testing put me under a lot of pressure. The high levels of stress and anxiety surrounding exams led me to believe that this form of assessment was never truly representative of ability. Instead, I would use formative tests, which I believe caters for the well-being of pupils and also helps them build self-confidence and motivation due to the ongoing feedback for improvement. Where the learning takes place is very important in order to encourage motivation, attention, and enjoyability within learning. In a quote by Benjamin Franklin, he states, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." In my own experience, the most memorable times in education was when I was actively involved in exciting activities which were usually conducted outside the classroom. Outside is both an educational and social experience. However, it is important that outside activities in education are meaningful to the child's development and learning. With the current technological advances, it is obvious that children play outside a lot less than they used to. So surely this should be valued within education, especially early years. Therefore, my ideology looks at the encouragement of taking pupils outside the classroom and ensuring they participate in regular experiments and observations of outside wildlife and nature. It is stated that learning outdoors will maximise learning potential due to the children being able to visit places and learn in a less structured environment, which develops their independence and creativity. In this instance, I also hope to send my pupils on school trips to forest schools, which would boost their self-esteem and confidence for a more hands-on learning experience. Forest schools are also seen as fundamental in helping children understand the world around them. I would also encourage school trips to educational settings such as theatres and museums, which I believe not only motivates pupils but also aids in their social and emotional development. In conclusion, my core principles include how learning should be structured to allow children to choose activities which interest them. Children should be able to learn at their own pace, in which the teacher and child are a partnership. Education up to the age of 7 should revolve around creative play and socialisation. And finally, outside activities should be incorporated into day-to-day school life as well as going on regular school trips to educational settings. Although I believe the government's pure focus on knowledge will never change, a more child-centred approach should be integrated throughout the curriculum to improve students' well-being and promote independence, respectfulness and confidence.